Today we're chatting to Astrid, who is a dancer by profession. Hello Astrid.
Hello, Amy.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.
You're a dancer. Tell me about that. I mean, I think there's a whole bunch of different ranges of being a dancer.
Yes, there is. Okay, for starters, I am a qualified internationally trained dance teacher and I studied modern dance and ballet. But at the current state, I am actually a belly dance teacher and belly dance performer. So this is my profession. I do this full time.
Is there a lot of money involved in it?
It all depends on how hard you work.
Okay.
Okay, so there can be a lot of money and there can't be a lot of money. So it all depends on your effort. If you decide that you're going to sit at home on weekends and not do anything, you're not going to make much money, because this type of job is catered for weekends. You go to restaurants and perform, or you have birthday parties or kitchen teas that you perform at, and it's generally towards weekends.
All right. Tell me, is it something you had to study for?
Yes, definitely.
So you can't just say one day I want to become a dancer because you've got natural talent?
No. In fact, good question, because I was going to say whether you have natural talent or not, you still have to train. And even as a dancer, I've been dancing for 42 years. I have been training every day of my life, and I attend international workshops. So you have to train hard, you have to practice hard, you have to work hard in order to get where you want to get with your dancing. You can't really just take your DVD, watch a DVD and go, okay, I know those moves. Or even better still, go for a 3 months dance class or a 6 month dance course and think, yay, I'm a teacher now, I can teach these moves. No, it doesn't work like that. I studied 12 years with an association to do all my levels and exams for modern dance. After that, I had to actually apply to become a student dance teacher, and from then I trained to become a dance teacher, and that took 4.5 years. And then after that, I put myself out there in the big world and opened up my own studio, and that was 21 years ago.
Wow.
And as a professional dancer, about 18 years ago with belly dancing, I also had to put myself out there. I had to learn belly dancing first. And even though I had a background as a dancer, be it ballet and modern, I still had to learn that culture and I had to learn that genre of dance. So I found myself a reputable teacher. And then when I got to a level of learning belly dance 3 years in South Africa, I actually went over to Egypt and trained in Egypt since 2003 to 2009.
Wow.
So I studied really hard.
I see that. So the type of characteristics that someone would need is obviously you've got to be a hard worker, you've got to be dedicated. But what other characteristics or personality does someone need to be a dancer?
Well, firstly, you've got to really love dance. Dance must be in your heart and in your soul. You have to be able to go out there and perform and entertain people without feeling nervous, being scared. So you really got to be a special kind of person. I'm trying to put it in words, but if you are shy and if you are meek and you don't really like going and showing your stuff to the people out there in the public, it's not really for you. So you have to be a bit of an extrovert and a show-off.
A show-off. Astrid, any advice that you'd like to give people that are interested in getting into the dancing field?
Firstly, if you're starting from the beginning and you haven't had a day's lesson, my advice is find a reputable teacher. Find a teacher who is qualified. There are a lot of teachers out there that are not qualified.
What qualification should they look for?
I would look for an international qualification. Okay, I'm qualified I have an international qualification, but there are local qualifications and national qualifications as well. But I would prefer to seek for an international qualification, because then you have a sort of a board of international dancers on this qualification board, and you go through a really, really hard process of training to be a dance teacher, because it's not just really get up and let me teach you these moves. You're also dealing with different personalities, so you learn psychology of teaching, you learn musicality, you learn physiology and anatomy, and you need to know a certain bit of biokinetics. So if that person has a problem and they have their legs are too turned in or their legs are too turned out, they have weak knees, you must know strengthening exercises to give those people, and that's all part of teaching.
Wow.
Is exercising the muscles and exercising the ligaments and making sure that it's safe. So that is why I stress qualified teacher, because a qualified teacher knows all of this. She has studied anatomy and physiology. She studied corrective and incorrective exercises. So she knows what she's doing, and she's also had a little bit of psychology of training, being able to teach different people, because you don't get the same type of person walking in the door. You get various different personalities, so you must know how to deal with those personalities. That is very important because you might get a little princess that comes along and has a natural talent, and she doesn't need much training, or maybe she does but she thinks she doesn't need much training. Then you get a little girl who's really, her life goal and dream is to be a dancer, but she doesn't really have that much talent, but she can do it. She needs to work hard, so you need to learn to encourage her and say to little princess, by the way, princess, you also need to work hard. So that's my favorite one. So you have to also be able to inspire your students. You have to encourage and inspire. Encouragement is important, and most dance teachers don't. They get impatient, they get angry, they get frustrated. So it's up to the teacher, basically. If the student can't get the movement or can't get the idea, it's actually up to the teacher to find a way to actually get the message across to the student. Hey, this is how you do it. Oh, you don't understand me there? Okay, I'll try and find another way.
Astrid, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we hope that your advice has helped our job seekers.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thanks.